I don't fight. I don't argue. I just hit that bitch with a bottle. Sup, you guys? ASD Classified here. And I'm going to review episode 2 of Power Rangers Dino Charge. Past, present, and fusion. So, okay. In this episode, we're introduced to Riley, who's going to be our Green Ranger for this season. Yes, so Riley is actually a farm boy. He's not a city slicker like the rest of these Rangers. So, in the beginning of the episode, we see Riley on the farm. He's in a barn training with swordplay, as you do on the farm. So yeah, he's training swordplay. He's a fencer, I believe. So yeah, he was doing all this training. He was putting in work, you know, like he was really getting it. And then his big brother came barging in. He was like, so whenever you're done pretending to be Samurai Jack, can you help me clean out the shit in the pig pen? Yeah. So Riley puts down his sword. He's about to go help his bro. And then he sees that his dog had ran off. And what was his dog? Rubik, I think? Yeah, Rubik. So his dog, the doggy, ran off. And he's like, Rubik, where you at? And he went looking for his dog, like on the property. And he went into like the woods. And then he sees his dog barking at something. And that something was Fury. Yes. So Fury clearly had no time for that mutt, and he was actually about to slice that poor dog up. And then Riley had to jump in and protect his pet. So it's Riley versus Fury, right? And Riley had picked up this like metal stick thing, and he was fighting Fury. He was using his best Zorro moves, right? But none of that was doing anything, and Fury managed to knock the metal stick out of Riley's hand, and the metal stick went flying into this like stone thing. And then once the metal stick hit the stone, it freed like the green energy, right? And Riley went over there. He was trying to pull like the metal stick out of the stone, but then the green energy activated and gave Riley the power. And then it turned the metal stick into one of those like Ranger swords that they're going to use this season. And then Riley used that sword and he started slicing and dicing Fury up. Oh boy, he was getting that ass now. Oh yeah. So Riley, he was beating Fury and he pushed him back, and him and his dog got away. So after Riley and his dog get away from Fury, the next scene is Riley getting ready to go to the dinosaur museum. Yeah. So you just fought a monster, right? And the next thing you're gonna do is go to a dinosaur museum. Now I get like if a monster showed up where you live, I get hightailing it out of town. I really do get that. But you're leaving your mom and your brother on this farm when a monster has just shown up there. And I don't even think Riley brought up the fact that he just fought a freaking monster. Like, the next scene was just him, like, kissing his mom and his brother goodbye, and even a dog, like, saying, bye, y'all, I'm going to this dinosaur museum. Like, did you tell your mom and brother that you just got attacked by a freaking monster? That you didn't think to let your mom know that, hey, there's a monster in the neighborhood, watch out, lock the doors or something? I'm just saying, this is it's a little weird here. I'm just saying. I mean, I feel like if I was in this universe, if I had just gotten attacked by a monster, I would just be like, Mom, call the police, call the FBI, call the CIA, call SBD, call Lightspeed, somebody, time for it. I feel like I would have taken a more proactive role than just leaving my mom and brother to fend for themselves and not even telling them that, hey, a monster is lurking in the area. I don't know. That seems a little weird. Okay, so Riley is going to the dinosaur museum, right? And apparently he's going to stay at this museum for the entire summer. How does this even work? Do they have apartments at this museum or something? Whatever. I don't know. But I'm kind of disappointed that he's not going to be living in the farm, you know, because the farm, like, that's a nice, interesting setting. Like, I feel like he could have still lived on the farm and been a Power Ranger. Like, I think that would have been interesting. Like, bring a little Green Acres into the show, you know? That would have been cool. Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Anyway, so Riley is heading to the big city, to the dinosaur museum, but then his car breaks down, so he's on the street trying to fix it, and lo and behold, Shelby and Tyler just happen to be driving where he's at, and they stop and they try to help Riley out, right? And they give Riley a ride back to the museum. So all three of them, Shelby, Tyler, and Riley, they're back at the museum. They just happen to stumble upon a secret entrance to the museum. And the secret entrance leads them to a cave at the bottom of the museum. And this cave is pretty much going to be their command center for this season, right? So yeah, the command center, I mean, it looks okay. Like, it's not really blowing me away that much. But yeah, you know, it looks nice for what it is. So they're in their little command center power chamber for this season, right? And in the base, there's actually a place for the inner gems to be set. Like, on the walls of the cave, they have like these two panels where you can put inner gems in. And the Rangers, they were looking at the panels, and like their inner gems just flew there. They just like a magnet just flew into the wall and just stuck there. And like, you know, that was kind of cool too. And then the Keeper appears, right? The Keeper appears in front of, you know, the three teens, and he explains the origins of the inner gems to them, blah, blah, blah. Then Chase and Coda show up, as well as Miss Morgan. And it's revealed that Coda and Chase have already been Rangers, like most of us had already thought, you know. Cool. Kudos. Yep. So, this scene here. So, Miss Morgan went up to Tyler and she said, like, the inner gems chose you because of, I don't know, random adjectives. And then she went to Tyler and pretty much did the same thing. And then she went to Shelby and she was like, and girl, I don't know why the inner gem chose you. I mean, I put up the sign, I said no black people allowed, but yet here you are. Like, really, Miss Morgan clearly does not want Shelby on the premises. Like, I don't know what her deal is. Like, she was really rude to this girl in this scene. She was just like, how you gonna tell, like, these two strangers that you don't even know, like, oh, you guys, you're definitely worthy to be Power Rangers. And then you look at Shelby and you're like, I just don't know why you were picked. Why are you here? Oh my God. And the fact that Shelby did not issue a fade on that bitch when she's clearly just insulting her. Shelby is a better person than most of us are. You know, I was briefly on Ranger Board to read like what people thought of this episode, and I saw a theory that said like, well, maybe Miss Morgan is acting like a bitch to Shelby because she's a little jealous of the fact that Shelby was picked to be a Ranger, and Miss Morgan just knew she had that Pink Ranger spot. And maybe that's what it is. Like, and I could see that. That's interesting that Miss Morgan is jealous because she thought she was going to be a Power Ranger, but instead the powers went to Shelby or whatever. But it's like, there are 10 inner gems, okay? Miss Morgan has 5 more chances to become a Power Ranger. So really, I don't know if that's it. I don't know why Miss Morgan is being the queen of the bitches to Shelby. I really don't get it, but she really has to get over it. She needs to get that sand out of her vagina. She got to calm her puss down. She really has to. And then, like, there was a part where Keeper was like, okay, so you guys are Power Rangers. It's time for you guys to go out there and save the world. Chop, chop, get going. So yeah, like everybody, like the guys are okay with being Power Rangers. They're cool with it. But Shelby, she's a little hesitant about being a Power Ranger, which is very understandable. Like, I feel like most people would be. I mean, if you agree to be a Power Ranger, you're pretty much agreeing to face death, like on a daily basis. And yeah, not everybody's ready to jump into that. So I get that Shelby was like, I don't know if I can do this, right? Like, she was like, I don't know. She was questioning whether she should go be a Power Ranger. Keeper tried to tell Shelby, like, girl, you were chosen for a reason. This is your destiny. But then Miss Morgan stepped in and she was like, no, Keeper. It's her decision. And you know, I think she's right. I mean, all of this, it can be very overwhelming. I think it's a little too much for a waitress. It's like, what is your deal? It's like, yes, Miss Morgan, Shelby can't be a Power Ranger because she's a waitress. But it's perfectly okay to have a caveman be a Power Ranger. Oh, hating ass bitch. But this time, Shelby, she didn't really back down. Like that, I think that little remark there got Shelby to get it together. She was like, no, you know what? You guys need me. I know more about dinosaurs than any of you. Especially this bitch with the glasses. So I'm going to be a Power Ranger, alright? That's what's going to happen today. Now, yes. And if the helmet messes up my hair, then so be it. We getting it done today. Okay, the team is together, right? And all 5 Rangers get ready to head out and take on evil. But then Tyler couldn't go because there were issues with his inner gem. So the other 4 go ahead of him. And then Keeper and Miss Morgan explained that when a Ranger gets their inner gem, it activates their Zord. And because Tyler's Zord, the T-Rex Zord, is awakened, it's interfering with his control over the inner gem right now. And this kind of made no sense to me at all. Because as they explained it, they said once a Ranger gets their inner gem, it immediately like activates their Zord. At least that's what they said anyway. But if that's the case, then how come the other Rangers don't have the same issue that Tyler has right now? How come Shelby's Tricerazord isn't interfering with her powers and we don't even see her Zord at all? And the same thing with Riley. We don't see his Zord at all. So why is it just Tyler who's having these issues right now? So yeah, I didn't really get that, but whatever. But they took this time to explain to Tyler about the Dino Chargers. So each of the Rangers, they have these Dino Chargers, right? And pretty much the Dino Chargers, they're powered from the inner gems. So the inner gems give the Dino Chargers their power. They're kind of like batteries. So once a Dino Charger runs out of energy, they bring it back to the command center and use the inner gems to charge them. Yeah, I don't really get the point of the Dino Chargers. I don't get them at all. This is one of those things that I didn't really like in Kyoryuger either. Like, why you're using batteries and they run out? Like, I didn't like the concept. So I don't like them here either. It just they feel useless. Now, I will say this though: if the Rangers would leave their inner gems in their command center, and then they use the inner gems to charge the Dino Chargers, then I would kind of see the purpose of that. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if they leave the inner gems there and they use the power of the inner gems to go into their Dino Chargers, and that's what they take out to battle and stuff, if they do that, then the inner gems are protected in their command center. So they're not like running out and the villains could like easily take them from the Rangers or something, right? The inner gems are protected and they can and the Rangers can still access the power of the inner gems. Now, if they did it like that, maybe I would get the purpose of the Dino Chargers. But they're not doing it like that. They use the inner gems to charge up the Dino Chargers, but they still take the inner gems into battle with them. And it's like, if you're still taking the inner gems with you, then what is the point of Dino Chargers? I don't get it. Like, it just seems kind of stupid to me, but whatever. I don't know. Whatever. So Tyler, he goes out to fight with the other Rangers, like, and the T-Rex Zord shows up, and there's giant monster fights, there's foot soldier fights, there's fights everywhere, baby, in this episode. Like, fight. Like, the ice monster from the first episode, he's back. Like, oh, it was fights everywhere. Fights. And Tyler has nicknamed his ugly T-Rex Zord Rexy, and Rexy was cleaning up house, so I will give the ugly Zord that, okay? So, yeah, the Rangers, they had a big fight. They killed all the monsters, yay, of course. And at the end of the episode, the Rangers, they go back to their little command center, and Chase, the Black Ranger, he goes to Keeper, and he's like, Keeper, you said that Fury was the only monster on Earth, but we just fought this ice monster, so you want to explain this discrepancy? And Keeper was like, that ice monster you fought, that was one of Sledge's monsters. You know, Sledge, the guy who chased me here, and yeah, somehow Sledge is back, and you guys need to prepare. And that's pretty much how the episode ended. So this episode, I liked it. But I did have like a couple of issues with it. Like I said earlier, you know how Riley, he fought Fury in the beginning of the episode, and the next scene he's just leaving town without telling his mom, like, hey, there's a monster in your backyard. Like, that was a little weird. I just didn't like that. Like, I mean, and then we go into the command center. I actually like the fact that Miss Morgan doesn't really like Shelby. Like, it creates drama. It's something to look forward to in future episodes. What I didn't like was that Miss Morgan was telling, like, the other Rangers, she was telling, like, Tyler and Riley, like, hey, you were chosen because of this and this and this. Miss Morgan, you have no idea who Riley and Tyler are. How do you know what the Energems chose them for? You don't even know these people. You know what I mean? So that was a little weird. It's just... I feel like the only reason they had her, like, tell Tyler and Riley you were chosen because of this and this and this, just so she can have her bitch moment with Shelby, you know, and say, oh girl, I don't know why you were chosen. But you didn't really need to do that for Miss Morgan to be a bitch to Shelby. Like, Miss Morgan could have... There's a million ways that a person can be a bitch to somebody. So you didn't really have to do this scene like that. And besides, Miss Morgan was being really specific with the reasons of why Tyler and Riley were chosen to be Rangers. Like, she said, Tyler, you were chosen because you decided to risk your life to protect a stranger. And she was saying, like, Riley, you're so, like, skilled and, like, you've been training and all this other stuff. So it's like, these are things, like, you would have to know these people to know that. So it's like, were you spying on them? Like, were you using, like, the viewing globe you guys have to see that Tyler did all these things to save Shelby and that Riley had fought Fury? And if that's the case, if you are spying on them, then it's like, how come you didn't bring them to the command center immediately after they became Power Rangers? Like, Tyler, Shelby, and Riley had to find their own way to this command center. They stumbled upon the base, okay? So at no point did Keeper, Miss Morgan, Coda, or Chase locate the rest of the Rangers and bring them there. No, 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 no. The new Rangers had to find a place their damn selves. That's a little weird to me. I just feel like Miss Morgan and the gang are kind of slacking on their job. I guess I didn't really like how the team kind of came together in this episode. It was kind of weird to me. But, I mean, overall, I still enjoyed the episode. There was a lot of good action. I mean, there's a lot of story still that needs to be explored. Like, I mean, in this episode, Keeper said Miss Morgan has been helping him, like, you know, locate the other Energems and shit. And she's the one, I'm assuming, that built the rest of the Ranger technology that's going on. Like, she built the Dino Chargers, and I'm guessing she built this command center too. So, I'm looking forward to learn when Miss Morgan and Keeper met. You know, I'm looking forward to learning that. So yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. And, yeah, what's done is done. The Rangers are, all 5 of the Rangers are together. They're a team. So, I feel like at this point, they just need to work on the story some more, and they need to get wittier dialogue. That's what I feel like Dino Charge needs. They need wittier dialogue. Now, the dialogue is better than whatever the hell we had in Samurai and Megaforce. I mean, yeah, that's great and all. But I feel like it can be better. I feel like the dialogue can be better than what it is right now. Like, right now is very chuckle-worthy. Like, they have their little jokes in here, and, like, and I can get my chuckles and whatever. Okay, now I need it to be hilarious. Like, I really need you to make me laugh and be funny, like, with the stuff. I really need it. And by all means, Chiplin, you can take some notes from Dino Thunder if you want. Because Dino Thunder had the comedy for me, man. Alright, so if you watched episode 2 of Dino Charge, and you're watching this video, let me know what you thought about this episode. Alright, later you guys. Jamata.